Welcome to the 2021 WellSpring Celebration. I'm your host, Brett Shipp of Spectrum News 1. Tonight we celebrate how belonging to a community lifts us up. This is especially true for those who are lonely and isolated and forgotten because of mental illness. With the challenges of COVID-19, it's estimated that 1 in 4 Americans are struggling with mental health issues, while 1 in 20 live with severe mental illness. Our friends at the Well community address debilitating mental health issues, but also poverty, unstable housing, and broader health concerns. This evening, we'll learn more about the Well and take a look at the stigma and hope for people living with mental illness. Then we'll speak with the wonderful Michelle Staubach Grimes and others who have personal reasons to celebrate the Well. And you'll have the opportunity to celebrate with us too by making a donation to this incredible organization. Finally, gather the kids for a special reading of Where is Pidge by Michelle herself. Thanks again for tuning in. Now let us see firsthand the great work that the Well is doing.
The Well community was founded in 2002 to foster a community of belonging and support for those struggling with severe and persistent mental illness. Many live with the related challenges of poverty, insecure housing, lack of nutrition, and medical concerns. At the Well, people are not called clients, but members, and members find a safe place free from stigma to build friendships with others who understand their unique struggles. To restore dignity, combat stigma, and address physical, emotional, and spiritual needs, the Well provides programs and essential services using a holistic, relationship-based approach. To address the physical needs, donated clothes, shoes, and personal care items like toothbrushes, razors, and feminine products are routinely distributed, as well as seasonal items like coats, sleeping bags, sunscreen, and water bottles. Hot meals are served 4 days a week by volunteers from local church, civic, and neighborhood groups. And on Thursday night, the meal includes a word of prayer and worship service. Hopelessness, helplessness, and unhappiness are often the reality of those struggling with mental illnesses like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, schizoaffective disorder, and severe depression. However, belonging to a community of caring friends and accessing services and programs makes hope, help, and even joy possible. Laughter echoes down the halls of the Well. Members offer caring hugs to one another, and staff give affirmations and acceptance. The Well is a no-stigma zone, a place where community replaces isolation and belonging replaces marginalization. Human worth and dignity are brightly on display here every day, a stark contrast from what our members often encounter elsewhere. Fun is a must-have at the Well, and it's integrated into the more serious matters of learning life skills, participating in cognitive therapy games, and doing social interaction exercises. Because people with severe mental illness are often ignored or left out, critical relationship building practices have been missed. Attentive listening, providing helpful feedback, and engaging in meaningful conversations are modeled by volunteers and staff. Faith is an important part of mental health stability for many of our members. The Well community began as a church outreach and continues to hold worship services, Bible studies, and devotionals. Twice a year at Mount Lebanon Camp in Cedar Hill, we have member retreats which focus on spiritual reflection and growth, providing time away from the city to rest and play in nature. Because of mental health challenges, holding a job is often impossible. Most Well members rely on public assistance, which is no more than $794 per month, making secure housing one of the biggest hardships they face. To remedy this, we created Jacob's House, a City of Dallas licensed boarding house, which is home to 8 men dealing with mental illness. At Jacob's House, they receive nutritious meals and genuine camaraderie, a rare find for these men.
My name is Shelly, and this is my son Matthew, who has been living here at Jacob's House for the past 6 years. Prior to Jacob's House, Matthew lived with me off and on, and it became clear to both of us that he would do better living on his own, but not alone. At Jacob's House, Matthew has the privacy of his own room, but also the fellowship of his peers. The 7 men who live here get along with one another, share a family dinner each night, and socialize on the porch and in the living room. The house has truly become a community for him and also his home. Affordable housing in Dallas is scarce, and this is especially true for people living with mental illness. We feel very fortunate to have found Jacob's House.
What we've described so far is our normal pre-COVID programming, which we hope can return by the end of 2021. During COVID, we've adapted to serve to-go meals, and delivery is offered for those without transportation. Hygiene items are even more important during the pandemic, and we now include hand sanitizer, face masks, and other cleaning items. Our staff checks in with members regularly to assess mental health needs and offer encouragement and insights, while local clergy and lay leaders provide devotions to help members and all of us stay emotionally and spiritually strong during this uncertain time. Something that has been made clear through the pandemic is that the Well is not a place, it's people. We also know that the Well community isn't just our members, but includes our neighbors and local businesses, civic groups, and churches who serve and give so generously. Your gift helps meet the needs of adults who struggle with mental illness and poverty, not only during COVID, but beyond. You can be a part of celebrating what the Well does for its members by giving now through Text to Give or by visiting our website. And thank you for your continued support.
It's such a blessing to see what great work the Well is doing in the community pre-COVID and now. Michelle Staubach Grimes graduated from Ursuline Academy of Dallas, received a BA in History from the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C., then her law degree from the Catholic University of America Law School. She's a mother of three, Jeffrey, Gracie, and Emma, and the daughter of Dallas Cowboys legend Roger Staubach. Michelle is passionate about literacy and authored the delightful Pidge children's books titled Pidge Takes the Stage and Where is Pidge, which she'll read for us at the end of our program. While these are happy and loving books for children, her own childhood memories are clouded by early indicators of mental health issues like struggling with depression, anxiety, and obsessive-compulsive disorder. Now, she is dedicated to erasing the stigma of mental illness and strives for Dallas to create more mental health services so everyone can access doctors, therapists, medications, and treatments. It was my privilege to sit down recently with Michelle to learn about her own journey. There's so much happening in our world, and there's just so many obstacles, and you've been there. When did this all start for you?
Well, I can really trace back to being real anxious as a child, really having like a fear of death and things like that. And really a lot of separation when my dad would leave for the summer for a month. Actually, as a football player, it's a great life in terms of their home. The majority of the time, it's not like a baseball player or a basketball player, but they do leave for a month in the summer for training camp. And I remember like being really miserable. You know, I'd cry like every night, my mom said.
How old were you then? Do you recall?
So, you know, he played from when I was 1 to 11. And so, but you know, I can remember crying a lot and having this fear of like, what is eternity? And
would you share that fear and that anxiety with anybody, or was it all within?
That one I did share because like, my sister even said when I, like in my 30s, I had to get an MRI for, I don't know, migraines or something. She's like, well, maybe they'll find that brain tumor you had in 5th grade. I mean, that's how much I talked about it. And so I think my parents, knew then something was off. The other things I do recall, like OCD rituals, which I had no idea what OCD was.
Of course not.
Of like washing your hands repetitive, like praying or like counting numbers. And you think if I don't do that, someone's gonna die. That's one reason I talk about my symptoms, is just so other people don't feel alone. I feel like, if I had heard someone say, oh, I do those things, then maybe I would have then told people about them. But so my parents did take me to a psychologist, and I hated her, and I didn't want to talk to her. And that's a hard thing. I just tell anybody, especially my friends and with kids, is, it's trial and error. You have to have a trust relationship. And so, not everybody's a fit. It boils down to there has to be the trust between the patient and the therapist or the psychiatrist, because if you're not comfortable telling, your psychiatrist or your therapist all these, what you think are completely abnormal and you're afraid to tell anybody, then you can't move forward.
Do you wish now that you had talked more about it, or you
Yeah,
just didn't know to talk about it?
right. Yeah, I didn't know to talk about it, and I think there was a huge stigma then about it too.
When were you officially diagnosed, and what were you diagnosed with?
So probably officially, like, not until my 30s with like general anxiety disorder, depression, but that's, with the psychiatrist, me telling him my story and then feelings at those times. People are so afraid to be diagnosed. It doesn't mean you're abnormal. It's just trying to get to the root of, what's causing this. I think we saw, which was so great, how Dak Prescott spoke out, a man too, especially, because men are, I think, less likely to get help. I think then that will encourage other people to get help. What happens is then people don't get help, and then, we may lose them to suicide or.
Where are you today in terms of a balance?
I'm good. I'm healthy today. Like, I'm not depressed. I always struggle with anxiety and worry a lot, and so I have to kind of practice the rituals of like being in the moment, the gratitude journal. There's a lot of, just holistic things that we all know we should do. Eat well, exercise, right? And get sleep and things like that. Now, not everybody needs to take medication, and I'm not an expert on that. So I don't like to talk about medications because that's really up to the doctors. But I do take a medication that really is targeted for OCD, and that does help.
Have you accepted the fact that this is a lifelong condition, and are you okay with that?
Yes. Yeah, I've definitely accepted that. I mean, there's not a cure for it. Some people might have one episode in their life, or may, have some tendencies. And then if you just have one episode, you can have if you don't have another one, a high % chance that you won't ever have another one. But with my, I can trace so many, yes. So yeah, I've accepted it, and I'm okay with that. Will I take medication forever? Maybe, but maybe not. They're studying it. There's so much they're doing every day on new types of treatments, like the TMS, which is a magnetic therapy. So, with time, who knows? Maybe one day I won't take a medicine.
What do you recommend as someone who has dealt with this your whole life, with anxiety and depression and this dysfunction? What is your advice to people who don't feel like they have any resources or any hope right now? Can you say?
When I get really down or feel that way, I look to those that had really struggled in the past. And like Viktor Frankl has a great book, Man's Search for Meaning. He was a Holocaust survivor, and he was actually a psychiatrist. If you look at the common theory of those that have survived, it's this common thread of hope. That that there's always hope. You need a purpose in life, right? You're kind of searching for that purpose. And that the Nazis, they could have they could have killed him, taken his family, everything, but the one thing they could never strip him was his like meaningful, purposeful life. Since I'm back doing law for the Innocence Project, which we represent, wrongful convictions, and this photographer I connected with who photographs prisoners, what he's finding is those that survive in these prisons and that, it's this kind of common theme of hope. Winston Churchill struggled with serious depression, and he said, when you're in hell, you just keep walking. And I think there's times like that, that's all you do. To survive, there's times when if that's all you can do, that's what you do.
For those of us who blissfully are going through, we're going to get through this and everything's going to be fine, and not taking into account those who are silent about their suffering, what do I need to know?
I think the best thing that people can do is to educate themselves on mental health, read about it. You can be there for them. Just love them. That's what a lot of it is, I think, really just loving them and letting them know you're there. And then it's very hard to understand unless you've experienced it yourself. when you're in a serious depression, you filter out all that's good. So really, everything's negative, right? You're not seeing joy. And then on top of that, people are like, I mean, can't you enjoy this? Or, so then it's like you're kind of double guilted. Like, I can't.
For those of us who aren't in need of these acute services, what do you suggest? What do you recommend that people who aren't in need do to help those who are?
What they say, 1 in 4 suffer from it, which means every family is affected by it, and workplaces. So the more we talk about it is to educate yourself too on triggers to look for if someone's all of a sudden isolating, not calling you back, doesn't want to get together. So, and read about it. And then, and ask, say, are you okay? I mean, things like that.
Can you ask if you're feeling depressed? Can you ask if you're feeling anxiety?
I think that's fine, I think most people would be fine with that. The earlier we intervene, we can hopefully ward off like serious depression. So, not to say it would have, but if I really knew what my OCD was and was able to get control of it when I was younger, would I maybe suffered as much as I have,
So why are you speaking out? Why is it important for you to lend your voice to this?
I truly believe that you can save lives by, one, we have to destigmatize mental health. And it needs to be normal conversation. And then the reason I talk about my symptoms and stuff is so if other people have those, then they think, oh, I'm not the only one.
How important is it for an organization like the Well to be there for these people and to provide them support and guidance and resources?
It's not easy, to navigate the system when you're educated and have financial means. And when you don't have, the family and the resources, that's really your safe haven, is the Well, something like that you can go to and feel cared for and loved and important and have accountability to someone that, I'm going to be there, and that way then someone notices, oh, if they didn't show up, they can reach out. But it's so crucial that everybody have access to mental health care.
In finality here, what's important for the people who are in the audience watching this right now or at home watching this? Inspire them, just inspire them here.
I think it's so important for us in our communities to support organizations like the Well, because that is all these people have. I mean, many are homeless, they're on their own, they know where to go. So this is like their home, and gives them a sense of, safety, a community, and that is right. We all need that. I mean, we all have small communities and then bigger communities, but if you don't have your kind of core, I think it's very hard in life if you don't have that safe place to go to. It's so important that, those of us that are blessed, that we support organizations like the Well.
Michelle, thank you for your voice and your advocacy and your courage. It really means a lot. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Michelle, for sharing your personal experiences and for your dedication to raising awareness. Many people with mental illness battle those issues alone, some even living on the streets. For folks dealing with poverty and mental illness in Oak Cliff and South Dallas, there's the Well community, a place where stigma is removed and dignity is restored. As a nonprofit organization, the Well provides a welcoming environment and critical services through the help of volunteers and financial gifts. Let me encourage you to give right now through the Text to Give feature on your cell phone, by mailing a check, or through our website where you can also learn about volunteering. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the Well's Executive Director, Alice Saccarello, who will present our Founders Award.
Each year, the Well community presents the Founders Award, which is awarded to volunteers who carry out the vision and heart of our founder, Joe Pulis. We are pleased to give this year's award to Diann Warnock. Diann was a sous chef at Sur La Table and used her culinary skills to bless and enrich the lives of others. In the 9 years preparing and serving nearly 10,000 meals at the Well, she made sure our members had not only healthy and delicious food, but also lovely looking meals. In addition, she recruited many volunteers and introduced them to the Well. Beyond her generous culinary service, Diann loved our members and they loved her. It is my honor to present the 2021 Founders Award to Diann Warnock.
Thank you, Alice. This is such an honor to receive this award. There's nothing more joyful and rewarding than to serve doing something you love. I remember that phone call asking me if I'd consider making meals for the Well. There were over 40 members that day, but I was hooked. I knew this might be the only meal they would receive for the day, so it was a priority to make it nutritional and well-balanced. I was blessed many, many times, but one blessing I need to mention was getting to know and work with Alice the last couple of years. We instantly bonded because we had the same passion for the Well community, and it doesn't surprise me that she's still here. Thank you for this award and allowing me to serve the Well.
We are John and Ellen McStay, and through our Morningstar Family Foundation, we've supported the Well for nearly 15 years. We were introduced to the Well through some friends whose son lives with bipolar disorder. He found a welcoming community through weekly worship gatherings, and our friends thought we might want to support this ministry. They were right. The Well and our Family Foundation have a similar mission of providing basic human needs for our most vulnerable neighbors through Christ-like love.
Galatians 6:10 says, "Therefore, as we have the opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially to those who belong to the family of all believers." The opportunity to support the Well has allowed us to be a partner in providing hope and stability to those adults suffering from severe and persistent mental illnesses. Without the Well, there wouldn't be a community where healthy relationships are built, where programs and activities are enjoyed. There would be no place to find help in an emergency or no place to have a hot meal.
More importantly, there would be no place to worship together, as the Well is the only faith-based organization in Dallas focused exclusively on adults with mental illness. Our giving philosophy is guided by the scripture found in Proverbs 3:27-28, where it says, "Do not withhold good from those who deserve it when it is in your power to act. Do not say to your neighbor, 'Come back later. I'll give tomorrow,' when you have it with you today."
John and I consider it a privilege to partner with the Well in its mission to bring health and the love of Jesus to adults living with mental illness. And we hope that you will join us in this worthwhile partnership.
The Well Community's Courage and Advocacy Award is given to individuals or groups whose personal transparency and tireless advocacy efforts have had a significant positive impact on those living with challenges related to mental illness. This year, we are honored to give this award to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, better known as NAMI. NAMI started as a small group of families gathered around a kitchen table in 1979 and has blossomed into the nation's leading voice on mental health. The North Texas chapter provides support, education, and advocacy to families and individuals whose lives have been upended by mental illness. NAMI is instrumental in serving and caring for families in crisis, organizing advocacy efforts in Austin for legislative action, and leading efforts to train law enforcement in handling mental health-related incidents. The Well and NAMI North Texas have partnered together over the years, co-sponsoring education events, peer-to-peer support groups, and family training classes. It is our privilege to present the 2021 Courage and Advocacy Award to NAMI North Texas. Receiving the award on behalf of NAMI are Dr. Athena Trenton, Executive Director, and Sherry Cusimano, former Board Chairman and Premier Advocate.
We are truly humbled by this honor and would like to thank the Well community for their partnership and all that they do to support those in great need of holistic mental health services. Our mission at NAMI North Texas is to provide education, support, and advocacy and public awareness to improve the lives of people living with mental health conditions and their loved ones.
It is therefore truly validating for us to have been selected for the 2021 Courage and Advocacy Award by an organization that is so prominent and well respected in the North Texas mental health community. We thank you for this honor and look forward to many more years of working with you in an effort to improve the lives of people with mental health conditions.
Hi, I'm Laura Sanchez, owner of La Calle Doce and El Ranchito restaurants in Oak Cliff since 1981. One of the many reasons we love this area is the way we take care of each other, and having the Well community as a neighbor gives us an opportunity to help out.
I'm Alma Rubio, manager of La Calle Doce on Sub Street. We first learned about the Well through Alice, and over time we learned of how the Well serves those with severe mental illness and giving them a safe place to build relationships. We also learned that most members live in poverty, and some only eating meals provided by the Well. That's when we knew how we could help out. We're proud to help provide lunches to the Well, host the Well's advocacy meetings at La Calle Doce, and to be a sponsor of their annual fundraising events.
We are grateful that the Well is in our community, and we are really happy to be a part of the good work they're doing.
You've now seen countless reasons to celebrate the Well, from Michelle's story to Jacob's house and Diann's kitchen. We've heard how the Well provides hope, healing, and help to many who would otherwise live under the cloud of stigma, isolation, and instability. Now it's your turn to celebrate by making a generous donation. Your donation helps sustain the great work of the Well and continues to build and celebrate community. Thank you for your support and for tuning in tonight. Now, gather the kids and sit back for a reading of Where is Pidge by Michelle Staubach Grimes.
We're going to do a reading of my first children's book, Where is Pidge? Where is Pidge? This is your title page. I like to tell kids, even though the words are just the author and the illustrator, it starts to give you an insight into the story. And then we're gonna start with the actual story. Pidge sat at the table, waiting and reading. She'd been left behind, but at least she had a book. Who forgets their kid? Thought Pidge. A family with too many kids, that's who. Oh, Pidge, I'm so sorry, said Mom, rushing back into the restaurant. Daddy thought you were in my car, and I thought you were in his car. At home, Pidge headed straight upstairs. Same old story. Nobody ever forgets big kids or babies. It's just the one in the middle who doesn't matter, she grumbled. Thump, thump, thump. Pidge tripped over Maverick and tumbled into her room. She stepped on little Petey's cleats as she climbed into bed. Ouch! Neither Maverick nor little Petey budged. I get forgetting at a restaurant and now everyone's forgotten. This is my room. In the morning, Pidge's room was quiet. She peeked out her door, no one in the hallway. She could hear her family downstairs, busy and together. If they're gonna forget me, then forget them. I'm running away. I'll slide down the laundry chute and sneak out the back door. No one will ever see me leave. Yee! But Pidge didn't slide all the way through the chute as planned. She landed hard on Michael's football pads. Crunch! And before she could figure out what to do next, Katrina's ballet skirt floated down. Swoosh, plop, darkness. Soon, Cody's baseball mitt hit Pidge on the head. Boink! Followed by Drew's basketball shoe. Later came Lucy's blankie and lots of clothes and towels. Kerplop, whoosh, ploof. This was not good, except Pidge found a bag of candy inside that last pair of pants. Yum! Being stuck isn't so bad after all, thought Pidge. No one can tell me what to do. Pidge ate and ate. She hummed, she even napped a little. A stomachache woke her up. Her heart hurt a little and she shivered. Maybe I miss my family, Pidge thought. She pulled on Michael's football jersey. She slipped on Katrina's ballet skirt. She wrapped Lucy's blanket around her shoulders. Brrr! Drew's shoe warmed one foot. She rested her head on Cody's baseball mitt. Tears trickled down her cheeks. Pidge was stuck in the middle of upstairs and downstairs, inside and outside, and all of this stuff. Just then, Pidge heard Maverick's paws scrape the laundry room floor. "Maverick," Pidge called. Pidge wiggled a leg through the jeans and shirts and football pads and nudged the laundry door with her big toe. Ruff, ruff, ruff. Maverick went wild. And then Pidge heard Mom. "Maverick, what are you doing? Stop scratching." Maverick barked louder and louder. "And where is your buddy Pidge? We've looked everywhere." "They're looking for me," realized Pidge. Everyone pounded into the laundry room to see why Maverick was making such a racket. Just then, the door popped open. There was Pidge's foot. "Help, please!" There was Pidge's voice. Maverick tugged at the laundry. There was Pidge. "Why were you hiding from us?" asked Dad. "I hate being the middle child," Pidge said. "I hate being forgotten." Dad smiled and said, "Oh, Pidge, you're unforgettable." The family followed Pidge to the kitchen table. In between bites, Pidge told them about her time in the chute. When she was done, the entire Hubler family started talking at once. "You think your day was bad," said Michael. "It was worse for us." "We were sad without you," little Petey said. "Lucy couldn't nap without you reading her to sleep. Katrina couldn't decide what to wear. Michael's football practice was boring without your jokes. Drew's friends missed your homemade cookies. Cody struck out because you weren't cheering from the stands." When the story stopped, Maverick barked. "And Maverick's starving," said Dad. "Pidge," Mom said, "without you in the middle, we fall apart. Being in the middle means there are people on all sides to love you," Dad said. By the time the dinner dishes were cleared, Pidge was starting to think they might be right. She looked down and said, "Mav, I'll never try to wiggle out of the middle again." The end.